Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about the unreal nature of reality and how to maintain the mastery of your reality. And then we're not gonna really go into co-creation in the mastery because that's just gonna make it so complicated. So let's try and start with the self. You, aka me, because it all collapses down to that singularity, and the singularity is a 0 point dimension. It's where you are at all times. You're not in space, you're not in time, you're right here in the zero. Alright, and then the reality is constructed around you. So your brain, your body, your room, your street, whatever universe is constructed around you. Space and the cycles of moving phenomena that we call time experience, right? They are projected, they are a construct that is sort of a clockwork, a mechanism. Let me give you an analogy. So imagine you would be a little tiny eye right there, right? And then on top of that eye, right, you put something. So you're here, you're looking, and then you put this on top of it, and this is always like moving, and there's stuff inside. So there's like, in this contraption, there is a virtual reality, there are events and but you're always here. And then there is this hub. Okay, it's a clockwork construct simulation hub that is placed around you. Alright, so you have no dimension per se, because you're just a dot of consciousness, alright, around which is a construct, and then the construct is made out of phenomena, and it has its parts. And when we are in the human experience, first we need to learn to not give a F, okay, about the parts, because what we call the ego is always concerned about, oh, look at this arrangement of the sequences of parts, right? The linguistic monkey brain, they call it, this is like the Vedic terminology, like blah blah brain. Okay, it's all about, oh, I can put 1 and 2 together and that equals 3, so now I'm figuring out the reality. So this is the intellect, and sometimes it's just multiplying this intellectual entity, so it becomes like a big room full of voices. Alright, the war inside my head. And so, the ability of thoughts to kind of like create another thought form bubble that creates a juxtapose. So there'll be like two voices, the snake and where is my smiley? So I got Mr. Smiley and I got Mr. Snake. So like the evil voice, hey, and then the hey, smiley voice. So the voices in the mind, they can like juxtapose, and they can quadruple, and they can become a whole parliament of voices, and they might not even act so parliamentary. Alright, so that's a analysis of what is happening in the box, because the eye only sees in the box, right? So in the box, you're starting to acquire knowledge. Does that define you? Because the knowledge is okay, like for going about the reality. But check this out, if you were a video game character like Grand Theft Auto, okay, and so you know how things work in San Andreas. If you don't know the GTA franchise of video gaming, it's like a open, I think it's called like a open, I don't know what it's called. It's like a map, it's a city, it's called San Andreas, and you're a little character, you're going down the street. Now you're learning about what life is by what has been designed already into the video game appearance, how the things are appearing inside of this rabbit hole. All right, and the only world that you know by the intellect is the world inside here, right? So you see like, oh, I lost one of these. You see little charcoal pills in a tube, and you're like, oh, this is my reality, and I know everything, and I can empirically count these charcoal pills, which means blah 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 blah. So this is like the materialistic science, right? But then if you would be that eye that is peeking into this reality, you close your eyes, you start to meditate, all of a sudden this disappears, and you're like, well, I'm here, but there's nothing. And this is what the Buddhist calls sunyata, the emptiness, the void. So I call it the 0 point, because there's only you there, and there's no space, and there's no phenomena. So you're completely dead. Your ego, your avatar, nothing exists there. Now, I'm not talking about something that is, I'm talking about something that's invisible, that cannot be experienced by the senses other than perception itself. So it cannot be experienced with these eyes, cannot be experienced with these tentacles, and cannot be described by the lingo. Still, I'm attempting to describe it because you can imagine empty, right? You can imagine nothing. Now, the point is to kind of get into the emptiness, and there is a way, there is this process, because I've experienced it, and then it became so obvious, because my body would completely dissolve and the reality would completely dissolve. So the only thing that would be left would be the perception and the emptiness. And once that came into, or once that event interrupted my human reality experience, I was like, then coming back into this looming of, into this, like, coming back into the body, being like, okay, I'm back into the game, but what was that? What was that? I was just like outside of reality, and I wasn't a person, a body, I wasn't anything like that. Now, of course, we call this experience the pure self, the pure being, enlightenment, whatever, samadhi. Here's the thing. That opens another layer, or sort of like a baseline layer, or a substratum of this experience. And from that, I'd ask myself this question: okay, if I exist outside of space, time, and phenomena, who is controlling the space, time, and phenomena? And that's an interesting one, because the space, time, and phenomena is a presetted clockwork device. But then it's not presetted in a deterministic way, because through your own being that is another phenomena, your body, your mind, your emotions, right? You can create an influence on the clockwork. And you do all of that by controlling your awareness, because this is the only thing that you are. All right, so your emotions, your mind, it's all part of this clockwork design, a part of the simulation. But if you know how to focus your awareness, the emotion, mind, and the clockwork will follow up, and they will restructure the very fabric of reality that you're experiencing, which makes you a master of that reality. And then there are up to infinite ways to actually maneuver it. Okay, and I'm just talking about like you sitting, being present inside of this clockwork appearance of a reality. I will not go into co-creation. It's going to make it really more complex, because some level of mastery with this individuality that you're playing as, okay, needs to be attained first. So how to attain that? It's very interesting, right? Let's say you've never experienced this 0 point stuff. It's still there. You just haven't looked. You haven't looked inside a box. So there's a way, or you have been looking inside of the, the contraption. There's a way to actually look at yourself. Non-duality, Advaitic teachers, they describe this as self-inquiry, but I have designed literally a process to take people there directly and then anchor them, because I wanted to know if everybody can just like experience that. First of all, I wanted to be able to go back to that dissolution of reality willfully when I want to do it, right? So I meditated, and then through these attempts, okay, and practice, a way sort of like established itself. Okay, and I found, once I found a way, I found a shortcut. Once I found a shortcut, it became like a second nature. So, like, I'm still not a type of yogi, type of magician that can just walk through a wall, because I'm still like a baby wizard. All right, I feel there's some things that I have unlocked and opened that kind of like display themselves. Like something would happen, like a total quantum jump or something, or my body would be in one location and then it would skip into different space-time location inside of the simulation. So I wasn't intending consciously to teleport or something like that. It was more like a instinctual thing, right? And then I'm aware of that possibility. So I still like making that just a normal everyday thing is this nature of the nature of this experience keeps on opening new doorways, and then you are like entraining that new version of reality or yourself. So the way to go to 0 point is really easy. You are already there. The way to entrain that the emptiness becomes more dominant in the focus of your awareness than what appears as reality. This is why people meditate, and I feel like we can advance our attempts at meditation with this like simple technique. It's like literally so simple it will sound like stupid maybe or useless, but here's the thing: you just imagine the emptiness, and what you need to know that the emptiness is the Brahman, or like God, if you will. So it is the quantum potentiality of all things that are manifest. So we might see here something in our reality, like that we're wired to kind of like go for something that we have built a desire for, we have built a habit to go for that. Like we see like the insect, they're going into the light bulb, and then they're magnetized. So we are always being pulled by thoughts, things in our reality. This is the operating system of how the individuality interfaces with the outer world, and certain objects will call for your attention. Okay, it's all like subconscious pre-programming. If you watched advertising messages, what has been programmed to imagery, this like neuro-linguistic programming and imagery programming, the advertising programs, your okay, I won't go into like the brain science and stuff, but like you see the image, you record it, and then your awareness is magnetized to that when that shows up or manifests in your timeline. Okay, so we are being pulled to these things, and at this whole time there is this like emptiness there. And it's silly because it's just like like silence, right? It's like, and then Eckhart Tolle comes and he says silence speaks, right? Silence speaks. What does it mean? It actually does speak, because if you can trick your freaking operating system, not trick it but command it to focus on the silence. So here's the whole freaking thing, how it works. You imagine the emptiness, or you listen to silence, anyhow. Once you notice that, and any meditation teacher will like expand that, you notice the silence, then expand. There are objects in the mind, there are sensations in the body, there are sensations in the world. You expand on the silence that you're noticing, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. That is so profound. Now check this out. When I say you, right, expand on something, or you command your operating system, see, you are not the ego, person, body, or anything. This whole thing is relative. It does not exist. When you are at the 0 point, the emptiness, you understand that all phenomena, your intellect, your body, your world, your life, your soul even, it's all relative. It does not really exist. It's a construct within a simulation, and it's an appearance. Alright, so it's like a dream. It is there as an experience. It's also not really existing. It's not really real. So who has the capacity to command the clockwork, to command your body, to command your operating system? It is not your individuality as an ego that is doing the meditation. See, you cannot do meditation. You want to tell the emptiness to over amplify, override your whole body thing, your whole mind thing, right? When we say I try meditating, but like it don't work for me, because it's boring or I'm too anxious. See, this is the person saying that, because the emptiness and the Brahman, the self, it don't get anxious. It's superior to all of these concepts. It's the absolute, right? And the person is identified with I'm bored. All right. So you need to kill the person, but the person does not even have the power to kill itself or whatever. It doesn't have the power to meditate. All right. So what you need to do, you need to imagine the emptiness and then expand on the emptiness, expand on the awareness, and then ask God, ask the emptiness, yo, emptiness, can you bring me in? Now, with emptiness, it can do anything because it is which can control the clockwork. So the ego needs to surrender to the emptiness, and this is the whole thing. Why I'm telling you this, because the information that is now being fed into your little tinky winky pad, into your little ego device, right, is just like the operating system, right? You are infinitely larger there than this whole computing thing, which is just like regenerative computing thing, right? Your personality, whatever. So the only way to exit the matrix, exit the reality, right, is to die. And then when ego is trying to operate within the reality, it's like, I want this, I need that, I want, I don't know, I'm trying to, I must, I don't, I can't, I'm with, right? So it's an operating system that's like immersive, and it's on, and it's working, and it's embedding you into this reality. So if you try to go against that, you're just creating another miniature portion of that ego that is now trying to do meditation, right? And then all of this other contraption is working against. So the ego can, juxtapose and work against itself a lot of times, and it's just like annoying. It's not an elegant way to be in a samadhi. It's not a way to enlightenment, right? Because it will need to self-destroy by like endless war inside my head, societal tendencies. War inside my head. Right? It's like, right? And then 20 years of vipassana and all Eckhart Tolle in the world cannot help you to defragment that shit. But what can help you is the void. And with the void, there comes the technical capacity to mute the ego, shut down the reality, and just, and then there are many things, or dimensions, or worlds that come into opening from that perspective. But here's the thing, this is the space from where we can do quantum jumps, like instant healings, just like shoot, right? Because you can defragment the energetic contraption, the energetic memory of the construct of reality, of your memory. You can delete your memory, right? Or you can just pause. So when we want to meditate, we need to tell the void, okay, void, like, hey, imagine the emptiness, imagine the nothing, and then look at that and then say, hey, nothing, expand my focus, bring me more into you, bring me completely into you, have me let go of the thoughts or whatever I'm trying to do in this reality as this walking, talking head. Because this is the thing also, for this to work with you, I need to introduce this understanding or belief, right, that there is an inherent omnipotence in the void, or in this Brahman, in this pure being, pure self, that is stronger, way, way, way more stronger than any aspect of personality, body, physique, mind, whatever, right? So if the mind is over matter, which is just like an arrangement of things or densities in this clockwork, in this simulation, in the simulator contraption, then what is even over the mind, all right? It's the emptiness, it's the quantum, okay? Because the mind is an appearance, the body is an appearance, the energies are appearance on top of that baseline quantum substratum, which is potentiality. So you need to ask the potentiality, ask and it is given. You need to ask that potentiality to activate certain arrangement inside of this clockwork, and from that 0 point it emanates a quantum like groove throughout the clockwork, which harmonizes and updates everything. And this is how you quantum jump, this is how you master your reality, this is how you master your meditation, this is how you instantly go into deeper states of meditation, just by knowing that it is available. If you know what you're looking for, it is available. If you know how to ask it, it shall be given unto you, or something like this, biblically. so let me give you like this. So it will be just with eyes closed or open, you try to find a nothing, right? And then something along the lines of, nothing, can you make me feel that like you have more gravity than all of my thought objects and my reality and then instantly you start to feel like you're sinking into that. So that's like one way. Or you can just say, nothing, can you start expanding inside of, like, in the focus of my awareness, so that you slowly, first, let's say for example, so that you slowly overwhelm all of my perceptions and then just nothing remains. This is the way to go to the deepest level of meditation instantly. And then if you start to feel like you're sinking or like you're falling or whatever, and your ego starts to freak out, you can say, all right, like, emptiness, can you pacify my ego? In whichever. So here's the beautiful thing: whatever you can imagine, you can invoke. Because it has the omnipotence, is the potentiality to override. So any nuisance that you're having in your life experience here inside of the simulator, you can probably override that nuisance straight up, or you can inquire for the solution to that nuisance. This is your infinite omniscience, omnipotence, your infinite knowledge, your infinite wisdom that connects into the whole universe, quantum entanglement, intelligence, right? So literally it is the place that you go, and all of the problems that you can imagine with your mind are instantly solved in any way you ask.